Hey guys, welcome to my channel once again. Today we are going to be talking about the death of Deborah. So this girl went to a hotel to meet a young guy she has met days before, and she did not go empty-handed. She went with a bottle of wine. What does this mean? Does it mean she's a hookup girl, or does it mean there's a chance she liked this guy? However, it did not end well for her. It pretty much ended up with her being found dead, wrapped up in the bed sheets and kept under the frame of the bed. The story of a 22-year-old Deborah is one that is currently going viral at the moment. The story of Deborah's death is one that lots of young girls need to pay attention to, because the tricks that these demons are coming up with is becoming too much and is becoming too hard to keep up with. Deborah was a student of UNN, University of Nsukka in Enugu State. It is said that she had other siblings in the school and was supposed to have graduated in 2024, but somehow had an extra year which made her stay a little longer. However, in June 2025, she was due for her clearance and she came to school to finish up her clearance. Within that period of time, it is said that she celebrated her 22nd birthday, somewhere around the 12th or 13th of the same month, June. It is also said that on the 14th of June 2025, she met a young man by the name Emmanuel, who is a 200 level student of that school and a young man from Kogi State. There's a chance that they may have met days before. There is a probability that they may have met from her birthday or way before then, and there is also a probability that they had texted. However, on that Saturday, the 14th of June, Emmanuel escorted her while they were coming out from what is believed to be a work date or some kind of casual outing, and Emmanuel escorted her back to her lodge. Somehow it felt like they had a connection. But since she was sharing her lodge with her friends, they decided to go to a hotel. Emmanuel went to the hotel first, and it was said that Deborah joined him. She came with her pad, a few of her belongings, a mobile phone, like she was pretty much getting ready to spend the night with this young man. And some sources said that she also went with a bottle of wine, and this would be the last time anyone would see her alive. Days passed and nobody heard from her. Her parents, her siblings, and her friends, no one could get in touch with her. This is a young girl who was so full of life. She only went back to school to do her clearance and somehow had gone missing. Eventually, a police report was put on her name, and the police quickly identified her description with a dead body that was said to have been found in a hotel weeks back. Apparently, the hotel she has gone to lodging with Emmanuel ended up finding her body a few days after she has come to lodge. They pretty much realized the foul smell coming out from under the bed. This was after days they had lodged. They investigated the foul smell and found her body wrapped up in a bed sheet and tucked under the frame of the bed. So this is something that they will not have noticed. This is something they will not have known unless somebody went there to search, or unless the smell started indicating that something was wrong. And that was how they were able to discover that the body was tucked under the frame of the bed. When the family of Deborah reported about a missing person, they were told about the body they found some days back at the hotel. They were told to come and identify the body if that is the girl they were looking for. And that was how the family of Deborah found out that their daughter has been brutally murdered by an unknown person. When they were trying to investigate and trace it back, they realized that the name given by Emmanuel to lodge the hotel may have not been his real name. Emmanuel tried acting smart by using a different name to lodge at that hotel, but this is where they usually catch these people. He went ahead and stole her mobile phone, her pad, and some of her belongings. The rest of the belongings that he could not do anything with, he threw them out of the window. Pretty much dressed up like nothing happened, he left the hotel, and that was how he escaped. It's one of all those 15,000 naira nights hotel basically, so there wasn't any CCTV footage to show that she walked in with Emmanuel. Emmanuel thought he was being clever by taking her phone. He never knew that was what the police was going to use to trace him. However, he being in the possession of a mobile phone pretty much was what helped the police to trace it. They were able to trace the pad. They finally got to Emmanuel, and he was picked up and asked to explain how he got a hold of this young lady's pad and gadgets. And that was when he was pretty much caught and arrested to be the number one suspect behind the lady's death. When he was caught and arrested, he was asked to explain what happened between him and Deborah. And this is where the story pretty much starts to get interesting, because Emmanuel wanted to turn everything into his favor. Emmanuel, in his confession, said that yes, on the 14th of June, a day or two after her birthday, he hung out with her and escorted her back to her lodge, which was eventually able to convince her to follow him back to his hotel room, which some sources said he even borrowed like 3,000 naira from Deborah to complete the hotel room. That the aim of booking the hotel was for them to hook up, that Deborah was a hookup girl. Deborah was a prostitute that he was able to toast and was able to convince to follow him to the hotel. He also said they had sex the night they got there, and in the morning they had sex again. However, he claimed that somewhere along the line, Deborah started demanding for 15,000 naira extra because he has paid her 5,000 naira the night before. But when Deborah started demanding for 15,000 naira extra in the morning, the both of them got into a heated argument. You guys know the way we see it play out in Hollywood movies. And that was what Emmanuel was claiming happened between him and Deborah. And so he fought her. They fought, and somewhere along the line, she died. He did admit to strangling her during the fight and did not realize when she gave up the ghost. Then he had to use the bedsheet or something around the hotel premises to wrap her off, shove her under the bed, and escape back to his lodge in the night. Some sources said he's not even a student, but he was caught around the school premises. According to some sources still, it also said that after he killed her, he stole her iPad, collected a bottle of wine that she bought, a mobile phone, threw some of her belongings out the window, and took the ones he would probably need to sell along with him. That sounds like a robbery to me. Eventually, Deborah's friends got to hear that they have caught the guy who may have killed Deborah, and they learned that it was Emmanuel. To them, he sounded very familiar. He also looked familiar. When they heard that he was going around saying that Deborah was a prostitute and a hookup girl, a girl who wanted 15,000 naira a night, the friends had to debunk that idea because they were like, that is not true. Deborah told her friends about a guy named Emmanuel, a guy she recently met, a guy that likes her and she also likes him back. Deborah was already catching feelings for this guy named Emmanuel, and Emmanuel is out here saying that Deborah was a prostitute he picked up from the street and brought to his hotel room. It even got worse for Emmanuel when his own neighbor recalled that they've seen him with Deborah in that compound. They've seen him with Deborah countless times. So with all these pictures and all this narrative of the story coming up, one thing is for a fact: Deborah was not a hookup girl. Deborah was not a prostitute. Deborah actually went to a hotel to meet a guy that she thought liked her, and that was why she went with a bottle of wine. Because what kind of a prostitute will go to a hotel with a bottle of wine to collect 15,000 naira a night? That doesn't even make sense. Apparently, it's clear that Deborah met a young guy who pretty much swayed her, convinced her, and was nice to her. There are some people's love language and she fell for it, but here is the thing. Why did Emmanuel kill Deborah? Why would you want to do that to a girl who seems to like you? To a girl who even helped you with 3,000 naira to book the hotel room that you ended up killing her in? Is one thing some people are confused with why he would do that. Some people even believes that she's a hookup girl. But if her friends and his neighbors are saying that they've known each other, they've been talking to each other, and they have spent time before with each other, why is he now trying to paint the story as if that was the first time they were meeting? As if it was something they hooked up for? It wasn't for money ritual purposes because her body parts were intact. So why did he do it? Is he a serial killer? Because to be honest with you, it would make sense if his narrative was true, because we have seen that happen a few times where a man and a prostitute go at it because they don't agree on the price. So many girls have been killed that way. So I'm not surprised he tried to play that game. But now that we have seen that indeed they know each other, indeed she came there because she liked him. So why would he do that? It's simple. It's because he wanted to rob her. He was an armed robber, a thief. He saw her gadgets, saw that she lives a lifestyle that he always wanted. It's called armed robbery. Me personally, I feel as if Emmanuel was trying to rob Deborah. It's possible she woke up, caught him, and then it led to a big fight between the both of them, and that's where he killed her. So basically, if you have a young girl in school, please advise them to be careful of who they go out with and who they mingle with. For more updates, kindly like and subscribe to our page. Thank you.